Hello, beautiful people. Okay, we already made it to day 10. Can you believe it? 10 days of fabulous February, the month of love. And this is another favorite day for me. So this was also a new experience, like an upgrade, if you will. When I met Mundy-Garner, the question of the hour is, how do you feel about love notes? So for me, when Danny would come into town to take me out on a date, or maybe he was going to stay for the weekend and come back and forth from the hotel. And then he, of course, he had to go back to work, right? He had to go back to Louisiana. And so after he would leave, I would find these love notes everywhere, these sticky notes. We tease and say that we keep, Post-it notes in business. I would open my desk drawer and find a little love note. I would open my makeup drawer in my vanity area and find another one. I'd go in the kitchen to flip on the light switch, and there would be a love note stuck to the wall. And so it was just a little way that he could leave me little reminders, little like a warm embrace while he was away, letting me know that he might not be here, but his heart was with me. His thoughts were with me. His mind, he had me on his mind. And to the extent that he took action. Well, that's exactly how God feels about us. He wrote us a love note. And a lot of us may even own it. We may have it. Certainly if you have a phone, you can download it for free on the YouVersion Bible app. It is the Bible. And it is the best love note. But kind of like Danny's love notes. Like if I didn't find them, or if I found them and just stuck them in a drawer and never read them again, or if I threw them away, they really wouldn't provide the encouragement that he had intended for me, right? Well, same thing with the Lord and us with the love note of the Bible. So last year, I was kind of in a spot, in disarray is what I call it, when just my heart and my emotions and, what I thought I was going for and would happen and all the things are not working together. And I was like, Lord, I need to stop believing myself and listening to myself. Kind of that little meme that says, you don't have to believe everything you think. I thought I need to have a moratorium, a timeout on thinking and believing joy thoughts for a while. What if I focused on what does God say? What are his promises over me and my life and my situations? And so that kind of led me on a quest to think, wonder what God does say. What are God's promises over me? And how sometimes somebody asks you a question and in that moment you're like, I cannot think of one single promise. So it led me on this quest. And every time I find a promise in scripture or hear a sermon or a podcast or whatever, I do my best to write it down or talk into the notes of my phone so that I won't forget, and get it into my gratitude journal so that I have a place that I can go back to it over and over again, and just start keeping a list of the promises of God so that I can be dwelling on those love notes from him to me. So my question is, when it becomes personal to us, that is when the relationship goes even deeper, right? So what about you? What about joining me this week, today, maybe the rest of this month of love even, in noticing, being on your own adventure, your own quest for what are the promises of God that you are believing him for actively? Because that's the thing about those love notes from Danny. They made me remember being with him and the feeling of the moment and the anticipation of getting to see him again and the way my heart feels about the relationship. And those are all the same things that I believe God desires for us as we are reading the love note from him to us of the Bible. So your verse for the day is whatever you pick. So my challenge is just search for one of God's promises that you feel applies to you and your situation today and jot that down. For me personally, I love to have them all over my mirror so that as I'm getting ready in the morning, in the evening, simmering down, I can take a look at all of them again. And maybe even take a picture of your sticky note, post it down below, or share one of your favorite love notes from God to you so that we can all be in the loop of the promises that He's spoken over us. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Make it a great day. Sending all the love.